Hello everyone, my name is Rosanna Bedororai for short, and you're on to Read Time with Rai. If you're just joining me, please let me know so that I can know you're on. And please stay tuned to the end of the broadcast. I have a special announcement to make. Has been our day for those of us who are in Ukraine and are students. This is summer, so no school. How have you been spending your holiday? Let me know if you're on. Please share, like, so I know you're on. Thank you for joining me. Like I said earlier, stay to the end. I have a special announcement to make. Lynette, thank you for joining me. I hope, am I audible enough? Lynette, let me know. Florence, thank you for joining me. Please, if I'm audible enough, let me know, because I don't seem to really hear myself. I will just give some few time so others can join us. Please, if you heard me, Florence or Lynette, someone should tell me if you can hear me. Hello? Yeah, Florence, can you hear me? That's what I'm asking. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so thank you for joining me. All right, I'll go on, and I'm sure people will join us. I'm sure a lot of people have, been hurt at one point or the other of their lives, and either holding on to a pain, holding on to a past experience, holding on to what someone has done to them. But I want to talk about, I know that has happened, so I'm not going to be asking, have you been hurt before? If you haven't been hurt before, then that's wonderful. You must be walking on eggshells, and being extra careful, but that's good. I would love to hear from you. Kati, thank you for joining me. If you haven't been hurt before, yeah, thank you for joining me too. So I'll be talking today on how to let go. It could be past hurts. Ethel, thank you for joining me. It could be past hurts. It could be hi Kati. It could be past experiences. It could be this topic now. It's not only to maybe someone who has hurt you. It could be you contributing, like somebody's fault. It could be you contributing, or maybe you were even at fault. So that means you have to let go, of yourself and forgive yourself too. Yeah. So the first step, I'm going to just be telling us steps, and I will discuss the steps as we go on. Like I said, stay to the end of the broadcast. I have a special announcement to make. So the first step is you have to decide that you want to let go. I will give an experience that has happened to me before. I want to bring it down to personal so you understand, because this is this is something that has helped me, and this is something that I do over time. In fact, now it has gotten to this stage where I don't want to say I'm past being hurt, but it's something like that. All right, so the first stage is you make a conscious decision that you want to let this hurt go. Now, how can you do that? You cannot, the first thing is, under this particular subtopic, is you cannot pretend that you were hurt. You cannot just, please, you cannot pretend, you cannot lie to yourself. Thank you for joining me. You cannot pretend that you were hurt. You cannot pretend that that experience happened. You'll be living in denial, and one day, maybe some people put it in their subconscious, and then one day it flares up or it comes up, or you start being suspicious of everybody based on the experience you've had. So first and foremost, you must decide that it's time to let go. But in the place of deciding that it's time to let go, you must acknowledge that there was an issue or a situation or an experience, or there was somebody that hurt you, or that did something you did not like, either cheated on you if you were in a relationship, Esther, thank you for joining me, or lied on you, or could it be maybe in church said what you didn't say, or bear false witness against you, whatever was the experience situation. It could even be family members, it could be sisters, it could be brothers, it could be friends, it could be relatives, it could be people you never believed. Don't deny it. Yes, that happened. Are there lessons to learn from it? Yes, there are lessons to learn from it. Yes, those of you who are just joining me, please share. And of course, on the comment section, you get all my social media platforms in case you want to get in touch with me. Yes, so you must agree that this thing happened to you. And then decide now that this thing won't define you. That experience will not define you. So I want to let go. So it starts with a decision and an acknowledgement of the problem. Or an acknowledgement. Peter, thank you for joining me. I'm glad you could join me all the way from Nigeria. Or, an acknowledgement that this thing happened, this situation happened, this person hurt me and all that. You see, you are not what happened to you. You are what you would choose to become. So you cannot let that experience define you, because a lot of people still stay with their hurt. A lot of people are still, unforgiving. No, why would that person do that to me? Why would that person say this to me? Why would that person do this? You see, when you keep on saying why, and trying to rationalize, and what I mean by understanding that situation happened, I not say you should start over rationalizing. Yes, this happened. Was it my fault? Okay, what could I learn from it? And you learn from it wasn't my fault. Okay, fine. Is that problem? I'm not going to let this experience define me. I would let what I would become from henceforth define me. You see, yesterday is history and tomorrow is a mystery, but you have today. You have the gift of today. So that's why it's called the present. You have to use it wisely. You see, when you live in the past, what that does is it's like you're in a cage, because anytime you take 2 steps forward, you think about it, especially when it has to do with relationships, either between siblings, between someone you love, whether platonic, eros, no matter the kind of relationship. But when it has to do with the relationship, if you're holding a past hurt, you'll be making the person in your life present now pay for the sins of someone else. So you cannot let that experience define you. Secondly, you have to forgive yourself. Before you forgive them, you forgive yourself. I'll come to forgiving them. You must forgive yourself. Were they signs? Because most of the time, especially in relationships, there were signs, but you refused to see those signs. So you have to forgive yourself, even if there were no signs, even if you didn't see those signs, or you saw them and did not take, the action you were supposed to take. Whatever is the case, whatever is the situation, tell yourself, Geoffrey, thank you for joining me. Tell yourself that I forgive myself for missing it. I forgive myself for not, knowing or seeing this or reading the handwriting on the wall, or as the case may be, of even over trusting. We're coming to that. Whatever the case may be, I forgive myself for that decision or for that thing that happened. And from henceforth, you tell yourself either you must learn from this experience. The whole hot thing came or is there, or your pain is supposed to give birth to something better. And the only way it can give birth to something better is if you learn from it. So you forgive yourself. And then next, you forgive them. The third step to letting go is you forgive them. What do I mean by forgiving them? Does that mean now that you erase the memory of what happened? No. But you have decided forgiving means, I know they were wrong. I know they hurt me. I know I may have played a part in the whole thing that happened, in the whole scenario, in the whole situation, the whole relationship breakup, or in the whole, for my sister to have done that, or my brother to have done that, or whatever happened, I may have played a role in it, and, the person capitalized maybe on my weakness or whatever it is. I am willing to let them go. I will not hold that against them. I free them and I let them go. That's what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is not, I forgive you, and every time you see them, the whole scenario plays in your head. Now, you may not play the whole scenario in your head, but that is an experience that you've gone through, and you would still remember such experience. But I don't need you to always, how for me, the litmus test, thank you, Peter. The litmus test for me, how I know I have forgiven a person, is if I have a chance to help that person, would I help that person? If I have a chance to get back at that person, will I take that chance? If I had an opportunity to get even, will I do it? So if I can help that person, and if I refuse to get even, When I have the chance or have the opportunity, then I know I've truly forgiven. Because it's easier said than done. You could always say, oh, I've forgiven, I've forgiven, I've forgiven. You're just saying it. You can just say you've forgiven, but when you see the person, when there's an opportunity, or anywhere you see they're mouthing the person, they're gossiping the person, they are saying things bad about the person, it's an opportunity for you to castigate. It's an opportunity for you to, tear the person down. If you do that, you haven't forgiven the person. If you're forgiving the person, you see, and you're giving the person so much power. This is what unforgiveness does. It gives the person so much power. It's like the person it's like you being a telly and the person holding a TV remote. And the person is, saying, okay, be happy. Okay, talk about me now. Okay, your life becomes centered around that person. Are they really worth it? Is the situation that bad that you have to center your life around? You still have so many, years ahead of you. You will still meet so many people. If they were friends, you will still meet other friends. If it was a relationship breakup, I've said it before, 7.8 billion, we're running to 8 billion. You will meet somebody. So why dwell on the past? Why dwell on that person? I know it hurts. Don't get me wrong. It hurts like a knife. In fact, it feels like you can't breathe. For me, it's like your chest, so something is holding you, so you can't breathe, and I get that. But you have to free yourself. You have to free yourself. That's why you have to forgive yourself. Ikure, thank you for joining me. You have to forgive yourself and then forgive those people. They are not worth the trouble. You see, the truth of the matter is we give people too much power. Not so many people that we think matter don't really do. And the more we keep on thinking about the hurt, oh, this is what they did, how can they do this, and all that, you see, you're living with them in your head. You're thinking with them in your head. You go to sleep with them in your head. You see, you're punishing yourself. They've hurt you. You feel bad. And then you're living your life centered around them. And then everything about you is, has to do with them. So, forgive yourself and forgive them. The next thing is, yes, you have to forgive yourself first, Lily. Because really, if you don't forgive yourself, how do you forgive someone else? You have to tell yourself, yes, I made a mistake. This was a bad choice. Because you see, life is full of choices. If you haven't listened to Choices and Consequences, it's a live audio on Facebook on the page. You should try to look for it. Mida, thank you for joining me. Life is full of choices. It was your choice. If it's a relationship, for example, because that's the one that was common and I got some questions on. If it's a relationship, it was your choice. You weren't forced. The gun wasn't put in your head for you to date the person. So it was your choice. So you have to forgive yourself. Nobody forced you. If it was a sibling, yes, whatever was the situation, you probably created it. And that one, yes, I know you don't have so much power or control over that. You can choose your family. Your family chooses you. Yes, but you have to forgive yourself that, okay, maybe why weren't you more careful, or why did you see it coming? Just forgive yourself. Because if you don't forgive yourself, it will be difficult to forgive the next person. Learn to move past the situation. You see, a lot of people, oh yes, when they meet, let me tell you how you know you've not moved past the situation. For example, you were hurt by someone. You were in a relationship and maybe the person cheated and you broke up or something. And the next time someone is asking you out, or you get into a relationship with someone else, the first story that is everybody willing to hear must hear this story. The next thing you will tell the person, thank you, Esther. The next thing you tell the person is, please, I don't like men, especially if you're a lady. I don't like men. And why? I'm not interested in relationship. Why? Maybe the person who is really interested with you will be asking, what's going on? Why? And you begin to tell the person, do you know XYZ 7 years ago? This was how I gave him my heart. This was how I gave him my all. This was how I did like this. This was how I did like that. And he broke my heart. Everybody that has an ear to hear, you would tell them that story. Everybody that knows you would know XYZ did something to you, either broke your heart, or betrayed you, or gossiped about you, or did something, or hurt you in general. You must tell everybody you know about the situation. You have not moved past. You're still living there. You think you've moved past. That's because days are going, you're becoming older. If you're the type that add weight, thank you for joining me. If you're the type that add weight, you're adding weight, different things are happening to you. So you think, Grace, thank you for joining me. So you think you have moved past. You haven't moved past. Because if you've moved past that hurt, moved past that experience, moved past that situation, you won't bother telling everybody you meet that someone hurt you. Everybody you meet that this was what happened to me 5 years ago. Everybody you meet, this was what happened to me 20 years ago. There won't be a need to do that because you have moved past that stage. If there was something you needed to learn, you have learned it. If there was something you needed to take away from the experience of, like I said, nothing happens for nothing. Nothing happens without a reason. What was the lesson you needed to learn in that situation? If it was a relationship with someone, what was the lesson? Because definitely, I say it takes two to make it wrong. What was the lesson you needed to learn from that situation? You learn it. If it's an experience and it's something that you did wrong and maybe the person refused to forgive you or something, you know how to move on in the next. See, you have to move on. Move on means not allowing that define you. Move on means, yes, I guess I was hot. Yes, I guess I was crazy. Maybe it was useful as exuberant. Whatever it is that I did or that the person did to me, I refuse to allow it define me. Arama, thank you for joining me. I refuse to allow that thing define me. I refuse to allow it make me, some people are not hysterical, especially hot. I'm dwelling more on hot on relationship because that's what done with, friendship or, people of the same sex and stuff. But there are still betrayals on that level too. Most of the time, people let the people they meet in the future pay for the sins of the person in the past. Second litmus test that you haven't moved on from that experience and you haven't really forgiven. Because the next person now, Lily, can you hear me? Okay, so we're back. Sorry, I knew there was some transmission. Yes, Dorothy, thank you for joining me. Okay, so we're back. All right, so what I was saying, because it looks like my internet, yes, Eddie, thank you so much. Had some issues at some point. Okay, so what I was saying is how you've moved past is you don't let someone else in the future pay for the sins of this person. Because a lot of people, I don't want to give my heart. That's what I was saying earlier on when I noticed that it's like I wasn't live anymore. This person I've given my heart to know, he did something to me, she did something to me 20 years ago, 10 years ago. So the next person, you start saying, if the person does anything, you start saying, would this person behave like this? Would they hurt me? You hardly trust. You would no longer want to trust. Look, if you let an experience affect you that much that you are making someone else pay for it, it means you've given that person, that experience, too much power over you. Because now, because you trusted someone in the past and the person betrayed you, is the reason now why you don't want to trust someone else. But that person is not that other person. There are two different individuals, two different scenarios, two different situations. You met them at two different times and points in your life. So why do you think the person will still behave that way? It's making a lot of people in a social relationship become hysterical. If your ex cheated on you, anytime you're with someone else or you're dating someone else, you believe that person must cheat on you. It's not everybody cheats. Not everybody's a liar. Not everybody betrays. Not everybody hurts people. Not everybody look for are not nice. There's still some good people. So we cannot take a bad experience and put it on people and make people not give people a chance. I've seen people who have been hurt so bad that they don't want to give anybody a chance. They prefer to be alone. They prefer to be by themselves. It's not worth it. You're giving that experience and the person who caused that experience so much power. You don't need to do that. Don't let that experience define you. Don't let that experience define you. I tell myself, like I told you guys, I'm past hurt because I tell myself that an experience, what happened to me cannot define me. It's what I choose from henceforth to do with my life that defines me. With God's help, I am the architect. of what happens to me from henceforth. So that experience does not count. It does not matter. I just learned from it. Okay, where and where did I slip? Where and where did I let go? Where and where was I too, either trust, maybe I trust more, or the sign was there and I didn't see, and all that. I talk to myself. It's good to talk to yourself once in a while. You talk to yourself, you tell yourself, okay, I made a mistake here. I'm moving on. The next person is not that person, and I will not hold the next person accountable for the other person. So you have to let go. You have to let go. At this junction, I'd like to take questions. Have you been hurt? I know some of us have. How did you deal with it? Are you still hurt? Have you tried the steps I've been telling you now and probably it's not working? Let me see if I can help. I want this to be more practical because the truth is people get hurt all the time. People disappoint us. And another thing, yes, another thing to help you let go. Stop having too much expectations on people, even if it's a spouse. Yes, there's what, I've done such videos on it in the past, so you could check that. If it's a spouse, there's what is expected of your husband, there's what is expected of your wife, there's what is expected in your relationship. There are expectations, yes, but don't place too much expectations on people. People would be people, and what do people do? They are full of emotions, they are unpredictable. It's not everybody. You see, it's with time you can now say this person is dependable. That's when you have tried the person, you've tried and tested the person over time. Over time. So you stop putting too much expectation. Oh, I never expected this person to be like this. Why? Is the person not a human being? Is the person not fallible? It's only God. It's only God that is you can completely depend and rely on. Every other person, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a child, whether it's can disappoint you. So stop putting too much expectation, because that's the reason why people get hurt a lot, especially among friendship. Oh no, why will he do this? Why will she do this? I expected more from this. Yes. It's they are supposed to act the way you are expecting, but stop expecting it in your head. I'm not saying be pessimistic. This is what I do. This is the responsibility of ABC in my life, and I want to teach you guys something. Try to prioritize people. I prioritize people in my life. Some people think it's wrong, but I don't think it's wrong, because it helped me remain sane in this world. Because there are a lot of crazy people around. Yeah, so and some people are ill. It's just that the stigma and everything, so they don't want to check themselves to psychiatric. But people are ill because the way some people behave is wonderful. So some people are not normal, truly. So I prioritize people, and based on my relationship with you, based on my experience with you over time, I don't just put people in a category just because okay I know you or stuff. No, I would have tried you over time and know what you can and can't do. Now that's category even. You can move, because like I said, human beings are up and down. You cannot be entirely and completely sure. It's only God that that if he has said a thing, he has said it. Yeah, so even if I have put you in strata as okay, this is my friend, this is my acquaintance, this is family, this is this, you have to prove yourself in those categories that I've put you. Yes, because I can move you from a friend to acquaintance when I see that you're not acting as a friend should act. So that keeps me sane. I'm not upset with you, but in my mind, I've shifted you from friendship to acquaintance, and I know and we're good, because I know that the way you are behaving is how an acquaintance should behave. So I refer to you as such. You see, it helps. In fact, it makes your BP normal. Stop giving people too much expectation, and stop. You see, I tell people, who is a friend? A friend is as what a friend does. You're not just my friend because, okay, I know you, we talk, we hang out. If you cannot be there for me when I'm in a situation or in a problem, I cannot run to you. You are not my friend. You are my colleague. You are my acquaintance. You are someone I know. You can be a church member. For me to call you a friend, you have proven that you are a friend. So let us stop putting people where they are not. A lot of us, my friend, those people are not really your friend. When you are in trouble, do they come to your aid? Do you come to their aid? Because let it not be how am I going to put it, a parasitic relationship. Do you also come to their aid? So you see, when you prioritize people, put them in stratas, it helps you. You know that an acquaintance is supposed to behave like this. You know the limit of a colleague. You know the limit of a Facebook friend. You know the limit of someone who you talk to. You know the limit. So I have more than 6-7 stratas. People are there. They rotate. They can shift. It's not a permanent position. They can shift based on their relationship with me, and I expect to be in stratas in people's lives. So I don't get upset. Stop expecting too much. Stop putting all your, I believe that this person can. I tell people, never say that. Whether it is a spouse, it is because the person is human. Anything is possible. That helps your mind. That helps you, live life freely. It's only God you should trust completely. It's only God you should say, I know that He cannot do this to me. Every other person can shock you. Every other person can disappoint you, because this is one of the major reasons why a lot of people get hurt. Is because they place too much expectation on people, and they expect people to behave in a certain manner, and the people behave in another manner. Only God. Not even your father, your mother, not even your spouse. Only God. You can say He has said a thing and that is it. Any other person can change. That is life for you, and that is humans for you. So do I have questions? Experience, mommy, it has made me too careful that even when I try to give a chance, I find out familiar form. Okay, Peter, sometimes I'm taking questions now, please, because I just have 5 minutes to round up, please. So I'm taking questions now. Peter, so please, you can write your questions as I'm trying to talk. I saw something that Peter wrote, and I'm trying to tell him about it. He said, the experience, mommy, it has made me too careful that even when I try to give a chance, I find out similar thoughts. Sometimes you are the one making those similar thoughts come out, or you think you are seeing similar thoughts because you're expecting to see it. You see, you have probably been hurt too much that when next you are in a relationship, I guess you're talking about a relationship now. When next you are now with another relationship, or you find another girl attractive or interesting, and you want to make a move, you just believe she's going to act as XYZ did. So it's your belief that is coming to play. You believe she would act like that. You believe you're going to see similar things, and that is why you're seeing those similar things. One. Secondly, you attract your kind. Check yourself. If it's always happening, why is it always happening? Is there something you're doing wrong? Are you attracted to the wrong set of girls? Are you attracted to the wrong set of people? What is happening? You have to sit down, and you see, this thing is the problem with us is, I'm sorry, I'm unapologetically a Christian, so I cannot do without it. Yes. So the Bible is there. It's clear for us. It tells us that sit down and take stock. Most of us don't take stock. We just, live through life as if we're animals. You must sit down and take stock of every relationship you have. Sit down and take stock of where your life is, where it was before, and where you want to go to. Am I making progress? What is happening? You must sit down and say, so if that is always happening to you, Peter, you must tell yourself, why is it happening? Why do I see similar thoughts with the girls I hang around with, or whoever it is that, you're saying you see similar thoughts with? What is it I am doing that is causing this? You may be attracting the wrong people, and then you change your circle, because your circle also affects you. Show me your friend and I'll show you who are your company or friends. Even scripture says evil communication corrupts good manner. So you have to change your circle, if need be, for you to be sane, So do I have questions? Yeah, so while you're bringing your questions, I told us that I have an important announcement, and of course I'm at the end of my broadcast. I've given you, I could have given you 10, 15 points, but these are the ones I've narrowed down, and I know it works every time. This is a recap. You must not, Oliver, thank you for joining me. You must decide to forgive. Live in the present. Forgive yourself first, then forgive them. You must decide to let go, rather. Then forgive them. Then learn from the experience. Don't allow the experience define you. And don't give them too much power by making the next person pay for your past hurt. And then move on. You have to move on. You have to live life. If it was someone, you will still meet someone later. But you have to tell yourself that this person, I'm not going to give you so much power. You're not going to define me. That experience will define me. Was it a rape? Even if it was a rape, because that's the most painful thing, especially for us women. Even if that was it, okay, fine. Whatever happened that or led to that happening, I forgive myself. I forgive the person. I'm going to move on. I'm sure not all men are like that person. There will be someone who will love me truly for who I am. I deserve to be loved. See, there's power in positive thinking. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you're beautiful. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you can succeed. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself I will get over this hurt. Look yourself in the mirror and say I'm letting go of this person. I'm letting go of this one. And the reason sometimes some people hold on to people too much is because they're afraid of being lonely. They're afraid of the unknown. So you hold on, especially if this is a person in this this scenario a person, you hold on to the person. So, my dear, if you know you're in a relationship that there's domestic violence, you know you're in a relationship where you're not treated well, you know you're in a relationship where you're taken for granted, you know you're in a relationship where you're not loved, you know you're in a relationship where you're not cared, move. Believe you me, you'll find someone who will cherish you for who you are. Now, this is my announcement. Yes, okay, so I can see, Aurama, you have a question, but before I answer your question, I have an announcement to make. And this announcement is that on Sundays by 6 p.m., there will be a live audio broadcast. It won't be it won't be live, it will be audio for questions that may come, because after each broadcast sometimes I still get questions on the topic and all, so I will shed more light on questions and answers, or on anything I feel that I want to share with us that will be life-changing, of course, that will be encouraging and that will be uplifting. I would be sharing that 6 p.m. Sundays. Is an audio live broadcast, of course, so I can still take your questions, because I will still read them and see them and answer them. It's just that you won't be seeing me. Yes. So 6 p.m. because I trust, for my Christian viewers, I trust that you would have come back from church and would have eaten, slept, and rested. All right, let's check Aurama's question, because my time is up. If you have any other question, put it now, because after Aurama's question, I'm logging off. Mommy, please, for what you said, is it possible to forgive the person and not be able to forgive yourself? Yes, it's possible. That's why I said forgive yourself first. It's possible. You may forgive the person and still blame yourself. You understand? And this kind of thing happens with maybe where you probably in situations where something happened and you didn't expect it to happen, or you thought you had it under control and it still happened, or maybe you let out a secret, to someone that you shouldn't have let out, and then the person, Boma, thank you for joining me, I can see you, and then you now probably the person now maybe going to tell some other person, so your secret is now out there. So you'll now be blaming yourself. If I didn't tell this person this thing, the person wouldn't have told the second or a third party. Or if I didn't go to this guy's house, I probably wouldn't have been raped. Or if I didn't go to this, you start blaming yourself. And even if you may have forgiven the person, you see, that place of you not forgiving yourself and you forgiving the person means you have shifted the blame, shifted the responsibility that you should have placed on that person. Like I said, the fact that you're forgiving someone doesn't absolve the person of the responsibility of the wrong that the person did. But when you have forgiven the person and refuse to forgive yourself, it means you have taken the person's blame, taken the person's responsibility, and placed all on you. So that means it is just only you that caused whatever experience you had to happen. And so because of that, you hardly want to forgive yourself, hardly want to give any other person a chance, because you now block yourself, you now close yourself, you now become closed up, you now become locked up. Even if there's someone who will cherish you, even if there's someone who will, you will not agree again, because to you feel that you have let yourself down. And this also happens in visions and aspirations. I know some women who, maybe when they were 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, they had dreams, they had aspirations, they had things they wanted to do, and they're in their mid-30s, late 30s, early 40s, and it seems that that didn't work out as they had thought when they were younger. Maybe they didn't get the education they should have gotten, the job they should have gotten, they didn't get, or they wanted kids, and for some reason it's God that gives kids, so you can't tell. So for some reason they didn't have the kids, or didn't have the number of kids they were supposed to have, so they begin to blame themselves. Okay, if I didn't marry, or okay, if I didn't do that thing that made me drop out, or if I had passed then, or if this, or if some people even blame, apart from blaming themselves, they even blame situation. Oh, if my mom didn't die, if my this didn't die, if that situation did not happen to me. Pick yourself up. There are people who came into this world without parents. There are people who are orphans and still made it. You see, I always tell people, if one person out there can make it, then your situation, you see, there's nothing you're going through that somebody else hasn't gone through and succeeded. So tell yourself that I will get past this hurt. I will get past whatever experience, whatever I say, and I will move on. You see, when you start, the thing is, I'm wrapping up now, so stop if I don't see any question. Stop focusing on the experience. Stop focusing on the past. There's so much ahead of us that we should stop when someone hurt us, we'll be focusing. No, focus on what you intend to become. Focus on your next 5 years. Focus on your next 10 years. Don't let that define you. That is past, that is gone. The funniest thing is people will talk, and I even see it on social media. People trend maybe for the wrong reasons. But after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, something else comes. People have forgotten about it. Move on. Forget about whatever happened. Forget whatever someone has done to you. And then finally, If you're a believer, if you're a Christian, you must hand it over to God. Just say, Lord, I release this hurt. Scripture says, vengeance is mine. Don't be seeking how to, go and fight the person, revenge. Seek, like I said earlier, litmus test to know you've let go. Especially if it was a person who hurt you and you've forgiven the person. If you have an opportunity to hurt the person and you don't, then you're good. And if you have an opportunity to help the person and you do, and then you have an opportunity to hurt the person and you don't, that's my litmus test. It shows me I'm over the situation, over the person, over everything. You understand? So lastly, give it to God. Just say, God, take charge. I feel bad. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream, scream. Sometimes I just scream. And, if you need to scream, scream. You need to cry, cry. Ease it out and let it go and move forward. But never allow that experience define you. What defines you is what you make out of life in the long run. Let that situation be a reminder, that when you look back and maybe you have an opportunity to share your experience with someone, you'll be able to say, yes, I look back, not looking back with hurt now, with pain, but looking back and say, yes, whatever happened then, made me a better person and I was able to move on and now I am better for it. You don't need to wallow in it. Don't give the person so much. I know the funniest thing is the person you're thinking that has hurt you, and most of the time they are flexing. Most of the time the person is living the person's life. Most of the time the person is enjoying the person's self. So why would you not be the one, you that have been hurt, be the one in sorrow, and the person who hurt you is enjoying? No, it doesn't make sense to me. So that is why I cannot give somebody that kind of power. I take the power back. You hurt me, yes, and shame on you. And then again, be careful. If somebody has really hurt you, this is my last advice to you. If somebody has really, really hurt you, thank you, man, for joining me. It's Chinwe. If someone has really hurt you in the past, be careful how that particular person, I'm not saying, like I said earlier, don't let the person in the future, pay for the sins of the person in the past. But that particular person, be careful how you let that person into your life. Because you see, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So if you have hurt me before so bad, I will be careful now how I relate with you. I'm a Christian, so I cannot keep, good evening, ma'am. I'm a Christian, so I cannot keep malice. I'm a Christian, so I cannot, hold you in my heart or be unforgiving and all that. But I would be careful because it's scriptural. Scripture says we should be as wise, as a serpent, but be careful as a dove. So I will be careful because I don't know whether you have come to hurt me again, because you now know that I have forgiven you. So you must be careful. You must be careful with those who have hurt you. In fact, some people recommend separation, but if that, just avoid them. But if you know that there's no way, maybe it's a family person, there's no way you can do without or avoid the person, then you be careful with the person, because most of the time if the person has hurt you before, he will hurt you again. But sometimes if the person has genuinely repented, genuinely felt sorry and everything, watch before you draw the person close. Has this person truly changed? Because people pretend a lot. That's what I found out in this life. We have a lot of pretenders around. Yes, so I hope this has helped us to let go of our hurts, not let it define us. Know that we can be who we choose to become with the help of God. So if you still have more questions that may be personal and you really didn't want to put them down in the comment section, of course you can send me a message and it will be part of what I will discuss on Sunday by 6 p.m. Don't forget, join me audio live by 6 p.m. on Sundays. And of course, for counseling sessions and the rest, it's on the pinned comment on the section. Thank you for your time and bye.